Yeah. What's us? Red pill. We got him like, we got him like, oh.
And you're live here from the UK. X-Man from the underground.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you just watch Lock, Stock, and Two Smoker Barrels again or something?
Nah. I saw that. I saw that a while ago. But
no, I mean, did you see it like just watch it again?
No, not recently. Probably like a year ago. So I guess like that's recently. But yeah, man. I just love British accent stuff. Something about and I've always wanted to be able to do a British accent.
Yeah.
And somebody go, "Oh, you from the UK, mate?"
Yeah.
I just want that response of somebody my shit being so good that they have to question if I'm actually from America or not. But apparently I'm not there yet, so I'm gonna have to keep working on it. You know.
Yeah. No. It at first I thought it was Australian, so you know it's close to one of the two.
Ruining my motherfucking dreams.
Oh,
bro.
while I'm remembering, I know you said that you thought out of that list of movies I watched or I had that Mudbound would be my favorite.
Yes.
I watched that last night. Very good movie. Like every one I've watched has just been like yes. They're all good. So basically, whatever I've watched most recently is my favorite. So.
Okay, fair enough.
So Mudbound.
Yeah, dude. Look, man. And
I had no idea what the story was going in at all. But also, fuck Mississippi for so mmany reasons. But also, it just looks muddy. I don't want to be in that. Everybody was dirty all the time.
Yeah, man. Mudbound was one of those movies where I reluctantly watched. I just had heard a good thing about, like, you know, you scroll through those lists every week or so of what's the best thing to watch on Netflix, and Mudbound,
that was on there.
Come out, had frequently been on the top. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch this movie. And man, from the first like 10 minutes, I was just sucked in. It was a fantastic movie. It's a very emotional movie too. Yeah.
But, God. At the end, you have no idea what's going to happen to the characters. All you know is that the old racist dude dies because they're burying him right at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so wild.
It's great, man. And I've also again taken up one of your recommendations of Lovecraft Country. It is a fantastic series so far, dude.
Only 2 episodes. Did you watch both?
Yeah, it looked like you can end the show there.
That's what I told Lydia as soon as it ended. I was like, okay, so was it just 2 parts? Like, congrats, Jordan Peele. That was really good. They wrapped it up. Everything was good. Yeah. But I was like, damn, his uncle, maybe his dad died.
Exactly. And you know what my girlfriend said the same thing to me. She was like, okay, so is that it? Is like, I think we just had a beginning, middle, and end. And I was like, yeah, but it can't be only 2. But then I even go back and I looked at the trailer. The trailer didn't show anything that wasn't in those 2 episodes. Yeah. So I'm like, maybe it was like a little 2-part pilot thing. And if it caught on and if it did well, they were going to continue it. But yeah, I'm very curious about how it was supposed to continue.
Yeah, it's so crazy too, because it goes from like just a normal world to like fantastical very, very quickly, and then back to like regular, like this is the South in the 60s or 70s. I guess I can't remember. 60s, I think.
Yeah.
50s.
I mean,
I don't know.
Probably earlier than that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They were still chasing black people.
But yeah, good show. Yeah, the Sundown Town thing.
My God.
I was like, God damn, is that? I think
that's real, isn't it?
I'm assuming Sundown Towns are real things. But yeah, when he like they got to the train tracks and they're like, yes, and then they go over the hill and there's all the other cops waiting there. It's like,
dude,
God damn it!
It was so crazy, man. And I appreciate how well it was done. And honestly, just going off of those 2, if that's all I get, I feel satisfied.
Right?
It was because like I said, I did get the beginning, middle, and end, and I feel kind of like, okay, that was a really good movie.
Yeah,
that's how I walked away from
I know. Yeah, it could have been like just a 2-part movie, basically.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. I started watching that, and then obviously we got The Boys. season 2 coming September 4th.
Oh yeah, I just saw the.
Super excited about
well,
that.
and I think I've noticed that I guess services have started to release, like, movies are going to now be pretty much on demand. Yeah, and I know there's going to be a few coming out soon. What did I see? Oh, the new X-Men movie I think is out today.
Oh really?
It did say in theaters, but I don't think that would make any sense. But I saw that today. Yeah, it's like New Mutants is what it's called.
Oh, I think. Yeah,
it's supposed to be like more on the horror side of darker, much darker somehow. Even though
kidnapping children and raising them.
Well, Logan was pretty fucking dark for a X-Men movie. All the other ones were like PG-13. So
yeah. Logan was, out of all the X-Men movies, I think Logan easily goes down. Or out of all the DC movies, Logan, that movie goes down as my favorite movie of all time in the DC chapter.
Yeah, no, it is. So I think I told you we started watching like bunches of series of movies, and we just finished Deadpool 2, I think last night. So the last movie is Logan in that sequence, because that's we're watching them in chronological order. Not like the order they came out. So Logan is the furthest into the future on the new timeline. It's hard to explain, but yeah. So, but yeah, great movie. We went and saw a special screening of it up in Nova. There's someplace else in Ashburn where you order at your seat. Like you order food at your seat. I know Alamo Draft House, maybe.
Alamo, there we go.
And we saw a special, I think it was called Noir cut of it, and it was all black and white.
Wow.
But Logan, and it was, you know how bloody that movie is. It was just crazy because the blood's flying all over, but it's, like black basically flying all over the place. So yeah, it was pretty wild to see it in that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I love those movies where you could order and they bring your food to you. It's so you could get a beer, you could get ice cream, you could get food. It's those places are pretty clutch, but it's easy to eat your fucking heart out.
Oh yeah,
a 2-hour movie,
and it's also easy to get shushed when you order when you're not supposed to talk, but you're trying to order food at the same time.
What comes with this motherfucking number 5 right here?
Plus, you get beer at your seat. Is like you can get out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah, pretty quickly. Yeah.
It actually looks like there's going to be 10 episodes of that show.
Lovecraft.
Yeah, I was curious.
Good.
Yeah, it goes through like October 18th is when the last one will come out, like the season finale. So we got a while.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe it was one of those things where they kind of had to get that setup out of the way, so the story wasn't what they showed us, and now the story's actually about to begin. Like they're gonna get into obviously why that person, like why his uncle lied about being his dad, about the history of his great grandmother and how she was pregnant by that dude. Like I think that's the stuff that they're gonna dig into.
That shit was like, I did not see it going to that extreme. I was like, wait a second, there's magic and shit in this now?
Yeah.
But I like it too because it's weird. Like there's Ku Klux Klan, and then there's Lovecraft. Like what do they call themselves? I forget what they call themselves, but it's like they're a whole different sect of cult of racism. Whatever. Yeah. And they wear black robes, I think, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're kind of not racist, but they use people purposefully. Right? And like that's what I kind of got from it. It's like I have nothing against you because you're black, but I have nothing for you. If you're useful to me, I will use you.
They're I think they're so wealthy it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly. So, but aside from
happy things like movies and TV shows.
So, all right. What do you think about this whole the obvious, most controversial, most talked about subject right now is the NBA shutdown? And
is it?
I, like it's the NBA shutdown.
Oh, like why they're
in tandem with the shooting?
Should they shut down? Should they not shut down? Type thing.
Yeah, like what have you thought much about like the NBA shutdown? Like, should they have shut down? What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think it's really up to the players, whatever they vote to do. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion, at least. I mean, I think the owners of the teams have realized like they can't suppress their athletes anymore, and it's obviously taken till now for that to happen. But I mean, I think they're back tomorrow, so they're out for what 2 or 3 games. Was it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, Wednesday. Yep, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah,
Friday,
so I mean, it's. I mean, especially at a time where they barely came back because of coronavirus. Like it's so scrutinized and viewed because there's nothing else on, and it's. I don't know. I like I said, I think it's up to the players really, and that it kind of shows that it is because I think they were in a room voting on it. I saw LeBron got pissed and walked out because they voted to keep playing. He wanted to boycott the whole playoffs, like stop it completely. So I don't know, man.
That was fairly extreme on LeBron's part, and it was also LeBron and it was mostly LeBron and Kawhi, and they definitely can. They have. It's much easier for them to say not play a season because financially they have all the endorsements and extra income that they don't necessarily have to worry about getting paid for the time they're sitting out. But the difficulty becomes when you get those men further down the bench where those game checks really matter to them, and they have wives, they have families that they need to take care of. So kind of trying to convince that guy, hey, don't play for X amount of games and forfeit all of this income for this certain area. It just makes things a little tough on that front. So I think it's very unfair.
There's more than two sides, really. It's such a hard thing especially because the owners they own the team. Like I mean, the people. It's just there's angles. Too many, really. But I feel it's up to the players just because they. I mean, obviously, I don't know. You can get into the details of majority rules or however that works with like a voting process on the team of if we play or not, but I don't have the inside view of that.
I mean, technically it's not up to the players because these companies have and organizations have every right to say you're fired, right? So like take for example, if you showed up tomorrow, no matter how much you crushed it at work and you just started espousing your political views and ideologies, your company could be like, I'm not okay with that, and they could let you go. And there's nothing you can do about it because it's it's their right to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's only if you become too extreme with it. I feel like they're able to. Like you could give your political opinion and it not be a fireable offense, but you could definitely be like standing on a soapbox preaching your political opinion, and that would be more of a nuisance than anything, not like that it's actually changing anyone's mind.
Right. If it caused their employees to be less productive, hence, like, for example,
sports are always like the exception, I feel like, to the rule because it's not a job. I mean, it is a job, but it's not going to the office, like sit in a cubicle type job, or even now sit in front of a Zoom window type thing, work from home. But I feel like they've always been the exception because it's not serious. They're playing a sport. It's entertainment. It's also like if actors walked off a film because of some sort of incident that happened. They're entertainers. Like it's really them that makes the product. So if you don't have them, I feel like they have all the leverage. Because if you don't have them, I mean, yes, there's the lower end players who have no leverage. But if LeBron says he's not playing, I mean, what the fuck do you do there? Yeah. Like, no one on the team's going to say I'm going to play. But also, what is the other? It's. I don't know. I mean, it's not the only sport because hockey's played most of their games.
Yeah. So baseball.
Well, baseball has played certain games. It's weird. Like the Brewers haven't played, which they're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where everything's happening right now.
So they and they're not playing specifically for that reason.
Yeah. There's a lot of and there were a couple hockey teams that did it as well, but most of them played. But the it kind of all depends, and I read an article the other day. It kind of all depends on how many black players, or if they're like some of the higher paid, better players on the team and they're black. Like they were comparing how Mookie Betts and Jackie Bradley were the only two black players on the Red Sox, and now Mookie's on the Dodgers. And when Mookie said he didn't want to play because of this, his whole team was like, we're not playing. And Jackie Bradley, on the other hand, on the Red Sox, it took them a while to come around to not playing the last 2 days because of this. Like, it wasn't an immediate decision. And also there was something to the effect of Mookie's whole team kneeled with him when he did it. Jackie kneeled by himself. Nobody else, Yeah. And then also, it's just different situations, but it's definitely affecting a lot of different stuff in terms of the sports world.
Yeah, because I think another way I've been thinking about it as well is that we obviously were in the midst of a pandemic, and people being cooped up at home, not really having the freedom that they're used to having, and for I think most people can confidently say, whether it's for financial, physical, or mental reasons, people have been struggling mentally for a variety of reasons recently. And one of the easiest and surefire ways, especially in America, to bring people together, to relax their minds a little bit, to give them a little bit of a reprieve from the madness, is sports.
Yeah.
So simultaneously, like, I think about it like this: by LeBron showing up and playing games, he's probably saving lives, because there are people out there that are probably,
and at the same time, just bouncing off of what you're saying, he could do it on his own. You don't have to make the whole team follow your decision. It may even look. It almost looks better if you're singling yourself out to say, I'm not playing because this bothers me. Yeah. And, I mean, the rest of your team can play fine, but you're putting them at a disadvantage to speak your mind on your beliefs. So I think it's detrimental in that way for sure.
I couldn't agree more. And going even further upon that is that by LeBron kind of like forcing people's hand, and it's like, oh, that you're with me or against me. I think you kind of you can potentially force a fracture, because I've heard people talk about starting their own leagues. Like, I'm tired of the woke bullshit. I'm tired of like the politics being injected into sports. I just want to watch sports and not have to deal with any of that. I don't care what color you are. If you're good, I just want to see you play well.
Yeah.
And people are talking about starting their own leagues where they don't have to deal with this. And by LeBron forcing people's hand and saying, oh, you either all got to think this way or you're a racist bigot, you're not with us, I kind of think it pushes people on the fringes to go, well, I'm going to go over here then, because I don't feel like I have the opportunity to think differently from you without suffering a lot for it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think he's mad at the moment and expressing himself in a way that, yes, will push some people away from him, but at the same time, it'll pull in so many more people that feel the way that he does.
Yeah, but it will certainly push and pull people away. I agree with that, but the fact that there's this air of, if you think differently from how they do, that is very bad. That's a very bad thing to do. Can you imagine if a white player, you came out and said, well, statistically speaking, white people are killed more by the police, and there are the numbers that show that black people worrying about cops killing them isn't their number one concern. You should worry about the people who look like you, who are more likely to kill you, and that's true for every color. If a white guy came out and said that, that would be suicide, right? Like, he'd be kicked off his team. He wouldn't be allowed to play in the NBA anymore.
Yeah.
His character would be destroyed. And that's the type of environment that I'm thinking is like a little poisonous, that it's creating this group think mentality where if anybody challenges the beliefs or ideologies, they can suffer severe consequences.
I guess there's always been this thing of athletes just need to shut up and play and don't give their opinions and all that. But there's also been the thing where, I don't know, I've known friends of mine that dislike certain athletes because of who they are off court, off field, whatever. And I understand that to a point, but if you dislike them for, very minuscule reasons, I'm just there for the same reason you are, to watch them play. Like, they're going to have different opinions than me. So what? They do have a stage, but so many people have a stage now. In terms of being able to reach people on social media and things. And I don't know. Like I said, I still think it's up to the players. And I don't necessarily see a problem with LeBron speaking his mind how he does.
Yeah, no, I certainly, I loved Muhammad Ali. That's one of the reasons I loved him. Muhammad Ali probably was the most outspoken athlete of his generation and even ours. He was a very powerful influence on the war in Vietnam, bringing a different attention to the different things that black people were going through in their community. So I'm all for speaking out in whatever fashion you deem necessary as an athlete. You have that platform, leverage it. But at the same time, I don't want them to create an atmosphere where if you have a differing opinion, that is looked down against and that's shut out. So it's like, okay, speak your mind, but allow every person of every color and every ideology to feel just as comfortable as you to speak their mind. Because I find it very hard to believe that how many players are in the bubble, like 300, that they all think and feel the same way. I have a very difficult time believing that. Yet and still, the message is uniform across the board. And
but no, I think that's on purpose though. They want it to be uniform across the board. And sure, there's other opinions, but doesn't it always boil down to the majority? You can interview a certain player on what their opinion is on it, but it's, it always does boil down to what the majority wants when it comes to a team, a group, a union, a company. It all comes down to majority. It's never going to be across the board, but you always project a what is the fucking word? Unified front. Like, you always project the same image. You can't project disarray, I guess.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I also
that just
think
makes
that
the NBA as a whole look weak. If they're, but I mean, I'm sure Twitter is there for that reason. They they argue back and forth constantly there.
I see what you're saying, but I actually think if the NBA was to show that they have a difference of opinion, which they are trying to use and leverage to fight towards progress, I think that would do much better for their brand than what they're doing now. If they were to show like, hey, this white guy thinks differently than I do, or this black guy thinks differently than I do.
Has anybody done that yet? Has anybody spoken out yet? Like,
differently? No, yeah. I haven't heard it.
Is that why you're bringing it up? Because it seems suspicious.
Yeah, it just seems weird when you get like 300 or 400 people all to reiterate the same thing and nobody feels differently. And if somebody, I'm assuming someone does feel differently. If they haven't spoken up, I'm assuming it's out of fear, because why not, right? So that's the part that gets me. I'm like, it would be so great to see Kyle Korver go, me and LeBron, we don't feel the same way about this, but I respect LeBron for coming out and speaking, and I respect his platform. And LeBron say, I respect Kyle Korver for we're gonna
I don't
talk
care about
to each
Kyle
other
Korver's
in order to. I know. It's bad analogy. I just said Luka Doncic. He's not American though. That's the thing. The best white players are typically not American.
He's playing here though, so
yeah,
he's got to go through it.
Yeah. So
might be a citizen.
if Luka was to say, if they were to have differing opinions and LeBron and Luka were to show that you can disagree, be of different colors and creeds, which is literally what we're trying to do with our podcast. Like, you can disagree, but with the same goal to make life better for both you and I, which takes a lot of compromise and which does take us thinking differently. Because if we all thought the same, we wouldn't have the ability to find unique solutions to unique problems. And this is a unique problem we're going to reply. It's complex and it requires a lot of different viewpoints. And for it to all come down to like, this is it across the board, strikes me as odd, man. I just want to hear different opinions. That's it.
Yeah.
Just nobody feels differently? Nobody?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird, man. That's weird. So
I was enjoying watching basketball.
Man, was I?
That's what this all boils down to.
I was so enjoying that shit.
Yeah,
bro.
I can't watch the baseball anymore because the Red Sox are the worst team in baseball. But, there's always next year, and if you're gonna suck in a year, it might as well be the super short one.
Might as well take this one.
Yeah, right.
And I was really, and again, like I said previously, is that I know what basketball was doing for me mentally. I mean, I would get off of work. I'm in my house all day. I hit the gym and go for walks and all that. But something outside of that to like really grab my attention and make me excited, basketball really did that for me. And like LeBron James helped me in a way by playing, by using his athleticism. He helped me mentally. And I imagine he was doing that for a lot of other people. Don't those people matter and their sanity and their peace of mind? Like, we're all trying to figure this out. Like, people are LeBron, there's people out there in the streets doing the work. And I know LeBron is doing a ton of work too. But LeBron, you do the work on the off season. You got people out there beating the streets for you. Like, you got to that position by playing basketball. So continue to do that. And I feel like, and I think that's why the players decided to play again. Because after they had a couple of nights to sleep on it, it's like, how do we make a larger impact? How are our voices heard the most? It's by when we're actually playing.
Yeah, reacting when you're angry is never the best idea.
No, that emotional, that immediate, visceral, emotional response, which is what I think
wrong 9 out of 10 times, or 10,
yes.
10 out of 10
man.
times.
It's wrong almost every single time, but I'm glad.
Ever type that email and then come back like an hour before sending it, after typing it up, not send it yet, and they're like, "Oh shit, that was not good."
Thank God.
Yeah,
thank God I didn't
delete
send that.
all of this.
So yeah, man, it's I hope that we get back to basketball this Saturday, which it seems like we're going to, and I would prefer if there was less politics injected into my sports, but that is the world we currently live in. So
it's an election year too. I think I said that last podcast. It's an election year, so shit is wild. Plus, it's
nobody was like this before.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know what
There's
I mean?
never been a president like the current one, so that's
I mean, we've had pretty polarizing presidents, but like athletes weren't making it their entire brand to be against the president to speak for.
That's
ideology.
that's because until now, didn't really matter who you were. You could be a Super Bowl, taking your team to the Super Bowl quarterback, and be completely kicked off teams. You know,
what do you mean?
It's happened so many times in the past. Just speaking out gets you nowhere, I guess, in sports until recently.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There's also a monetary incentive behind speaking out. Let us not forget, Kaepernick got $100 million for speaking out. There is definitely, and all of these companies like Nike, the Adidas, you think all of a sudden these companies are Black Lives Matter, we understand black people's plight, blah, 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 blah. No, they see a financial incentive. So whenever all of these organizations and these behemoth companies start making this 180, you have to know that there is something to gain from what they're doing. Yet and still, everybody's like, oh my God, my organization cares. They don't give a fuck as long as you spend that money with them. That's all they care about, their bottom line. They don't give a shit about you and I. But they've done a very good job convincing people that they give a shit about us. And by them posting a black square, that actually means something. I mean, that don't mean shit, bro. That don't mean fucking dick, man. And I'm tired of this, like, misconception that by just simply posting something on a social media platform, that is enough. It's never been enough. It never will be enough. That's not how change gets made. Change doesn't get made through the fucking internet. It gets made in person, in the streets, in the government, person to person. You don't just start a hashtag and shit changes. Fuck, young people. Think for your fucking selves.
I don't know, man. Everything's online right now, and seems like we're going through the biggest change of my lifetime.
In what way?
As you were saying, get out into the streets, and that is what people are doing.
Okay, so they're protesting. Okay, all right. You know what? So far, it looks what you're saying is that it looks like the possibility of change is the greatest that it's ever been in your lifetime.
Sure.
Nothing has fundamentally changed.
I think popular opinion has changed.
On what?
On speaking out against injustices. I feel like before now, most people just said, keep it to yourself.
Maybe.
And I mean, we're talking about athletes speaking out and shutting down the playoffs in one sport. So it's pretty big. That's a lot of change.
Yeah, I guess in my book, I don't call that change necessarily. It's something.
But I mean, also, isn't it like there has to be a catalyst for change? So people are just doing what they think is right to enact change. So I mean, people are just using whatever platform they have. The people that are in the streets, that is the platform they have. The people that don't want to be in the streets, the platform they have is social media, hashtags, things of that nature. The athletes, their platform is the TV, being on the court, that stage. And then you have, obviously, dude, I got this in the mail today. Let me.
Biden?
No. What does it say?
The radical left has taken over Joe Biden. Don't let them take over America.
And it's got facts on the back.
Trump 2020.
Yeah. So I had to show you because Lydia just brought that in today. I was like, where is this? Who sent this? What's the return address? Ain't no return address on this.
That's great.
Paid for by the Republican Party of Virginia. Okay, great job, guys. Great job. Wonderful job. Well, my point was that's the other stage. Obviously, that's, I mean, the biggest stage there is, and it's an election year. Like, I mean, what are we? When is the election? November something. November something. 8th. 6th. There you go.
One of those.
Yeah, so that's only like 2 months away. So it's everybody's freaking the fuck out. I remember 2000. What year is it? 2016. But also, I remember 2012 when Obama was trying to get reelected. I don't remember who he was running against now that I think about it. But god damn, the CDW office was wild. Wild. I'm telling you, people were insulting each other left and right. That was my first year there, and it was just like, oh, people are really sensitive about these topics.
People care.
They are super sensitive, especially in Northern Virginia near DC.
Oh yeah.
But it's I don't know. Everybody's a little more sensitive, on edge. It's fucking 2020. I mean, do you remember all the shit that's happened this year? I mean, god damn,
it's been a year.
I can't even remember the two hurricanes merging, and then I heard a word earlier this week I've never heard before. People were in the unsurvivable zone.
Wow.
Yeah, because the storm surge was going to be higher than the most of the houses there. In terms of like the water inland was going to be like 12 to 15 feet.
So there was no surviving. Yeah,
so they were like, leave. It's unsurvivable. And some people were like, nah, I'm good. This is 2020.
I'm assuming they didn't survive.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
So far, I've only heard one person died in it, which is like, wow, that's incredible. But yeah, man, it's like every week something. And then obviously you saw the 17-year-old kid with the AR in the streets shooting people.
Did not see that.
Okay.
I'm off of social media, bro.
You don't have to be on social media. Just open a web page. Are you off the internet? Are you off?
I'm pretty much off the internet.
Okay.
Like legit. Look, I got to take certain steps for my peace of mind, bro.
Do you know why the NBA players are protesting?
A guy got shot in the back 7 times.
Yeah, okay. So you do know that. How did you find that out?
ESPN.
Okay. Dude, all right. I will tell you, ever since 9/11, ESPN has been a news network. Yes, they are just like Fox News or anything else. I watch the specialty networks for my highlights, but I remember during 9/11, it was just like a normal news network, and I was just like, oh, so they're just like the same type of people, but they just read different stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But so
ESPN is a news organization. It is not a sports organization anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, Stuart Scott, R.I.P. He was
the greatest.
When he left,
he was the last.
It was over.
Actually, Mike and Wilbon are still.
I do like both of them.
Mike Wilbon and Tony
Kornheiser, yeah.
Kornheiser are still holding strong. Those are the last bastions.
Is PTI still on?
Oh, of course. That's my shit.
Yeah, it's still on.
That's the only show I watch on ESPN.
I don't watch mostly any TV at all, unless it's sports. But yeah, they're not on, or NBA's not. All right, so that happened. Did you watch the video? This shit is wild.
No, I'm never going to watch the video.
It's one of the clearer videos we've ever had of a police shooting. I feel like there's multiple angles from different people, but obviously that was in Kenosha, I think, Wisconsin. Yeah, Kenosha, and protests, riots, whatever you want to call it, happened. Probably both. Oh God, there's another thing, but I just thought of it. All right, so a 17-year-old went down there from Illinois. He's not from Wisconsin. He drove down there to protect businesses with his AR, and he killed 2 people and shot a third who's in like critical condition. He shot one guy in the head.
I'm assuming a white guy.
Yeah, he's 17. Yeah. He then walked past so many cops who didn't do anything. He drove home to Illinois, and then they arrested him the next day. And it's just people are calling out, obviously, different handling of different situations by police when this is very blatantly obvious. I mean, the video is also very tough to watch because you see him kill 2 people and shoot a third. And it's just, I think that's ramping everything up, obviously, because there's people saying that they support what he did, in terms of people on the right, and it's
the people he killed were black.
I think 2 of the 2 that died, I think, were, and the third, I think, was white. That was in like critical condition. He tried to run up. It's a lot. It's a fucking lot. So yeah, there's been some wild shit going on.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I didn't know if you had heard about that part.
No, I didn't hear about that. That was
on Monday,
not good.
Tuesday night. I can't remember now. Wednesday night, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's you know, this that doesn't surprise me. I don't think the world was ever in a state where things like that didn't happen. So it's surprising. It's tragic.
Yeah, it's the first one. It's not, actually no, it's not even the first one because like I know I read about somebody getting run over by a car on purpose at. I know that happened in Charlottesville years back, but that happened recently in another city. There's been people that have died.
Been a lot of violence.
Yeah, there's been people that have died at these rallies.
Several people have been shot at other protests, but it's been by gang members and stuff. So those don't get the same type of coverage because it's black on black violence, and the media is not inclined to cover it when it doesn't fit their narrative. So,
well, it's understandable, but I think this one has so much news because it literally happened like 2 days after the other one happened in the same city in Kenosha during the protest for that thing. Like it was literally like bang bang. I mean, obviously not bang bang, but you know the news cycle resets every day, and this was that next thing.
What do you think the people's goals are with proliferating these videos? And you mean you've watched them, many people have watched them. What do you think the goal is behind showing everybody these videos?
I mean, it all depends on that person. I don't know. To get
I'm talking about
information out there to share.
What do you think? What do you the news organizations
to show evidence? I don't know.
For evidence of what?
Well, I mean, if nothing had happened in the video, you would never see the video. So, I mean, some people, I'm assuming, and I've never been one of those people, are just like constantly recording, and then they happen to catch something. Because most of the time, when you see something happen, you don't have your fucking phone out ready to record, and you're like, "Fuck, I should have recorded that." And I feel like during this shit, people know that anything could happen, so they're constantly recording just in case.
Okay, but the media organizations, these news organizations, these New York Times, the Twitters, why do you think they're disseminating this information as much as they are?
I saw both of them on Reddit. So it was, and they were, I believe, posted by the people that took the videos, or they were screen grabbed off of the social media and put on there. But I mean, the entire intention of Reddit seems to be to have a conversation about whatever the post is. So that's what I would assume they put it up for. I don't know.
Okay. I'm just, it just strikes me as curious.
Personally, why I watch it, I like to stay informed about things that are happening in the country I live in and the world at large. I mean,
do you need to watch the videos to know what happened?
It's hard for me to take people's word for it. I'm a big doubter of a lot of things.
Do you feel like it desensitizes you in any way?
No, not at all.
No? Yeah, I don't know.
Because my brain can still tell the difference between, like, if I see something on a movie versus I see something in real life, my brain knows the difference. There's no desensitization. I mean, I've played the most violent video games, seen the most violent movies ever, but when I see a real person get killed, it feels the same way every time. I feel like it's like an empty feeling.
Yeah, so why? That's what I'm saying. I'm still
like,
curious,
why? I don't want to watch it necessarily, but like I said, I can't read a headline and say guy whatever and take their word for it. It just doesn't. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess I think anyone who is listening to this podcast frequently, and you probably already know what I'm going to say. I think there's a very strategic reason why they show these videos, which videos they choose to show, because there's many people getting killed around the world or in America, getting captured daily, but they choose a very select few to show.
Well, it depends on where you're looking too. When you say they choose the show, yeah, most people I know at least don't watch cable news. They don't watch news at night where that's what they're showing you. Most people get their information from someone sharing it with them in a link in a text, or them using some sort of app to scroll through news. And that is determined by what filters you put on it, what you see. So it's really personal preference.
Why are the same videos spreading for everybody?
They're not. I'm assuming I've seen multiple angles of the thing that other people haven't seen.
But why that video? What I'm saying is there's so many videos of tragic unfortunate shit, why do these particular ones spread?
Well, I think that's you have to know why they spread. In this day and age, like in 2020, they spread because it's the same thing that happened that people protested about. So it's happening again to further the cause. I don't know, man. I can't get inside their head. That's just what I think it is. Why it's shared around. I'm just shared because people think there's an injustice happening, and the way to draw attention to something like that is to show it.
I'm just saying it's not random. I'm saying there's a pattern. These videos are being chosen particularly to fit a certain narrative. This is not a mistake.
I just happened to go on Daily Mail, and I saw that there was a Mexican girl burned by her supposed friends. Her body was burned in the middle of the street. It all depends on where you look. It's not like you don't have to see these videos or hear these headlines. I mean, shit. The people that look on whatever side they're on of the spectrum, I feel like their news is skewed one way or another, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a skewing of it no matter where you go. To tell you the truth, that's probably why I watch the videos, because there's no skewing it. You can see what happened. Yes, there's no context to it, but you can see what happened in that moment and decide for yourself what you think about it.
Yeah, that's entirely too subjective, but it's so. I agree. I think what I think is that it's the same videos. The way they're narrated is different. So like Republicans, Democrats, left, right, they're all seeing the same videos. It's how they're being told to watch these videos.
Yeah, for sure.
So that gets back to, but it's the same video. So I think there are powers that be, and I don't want to get too conspiracy theorists here. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory that there's a few people who own a few organizations who want things to go a very particular way. So they make sure that certain videos are the videos you see and then determine in which way you should interpret them. Oh, you're on the left? You interpret this black man, da-da-da. He shot 1 million times. If you're white, cop just trying to go home to see his kids.
Yeah, but you're just describing political opinions. You're just describing whatever way you lean in terms of your viewpoints. That's how people take things in based on what your experiences and opinions are.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I'm saying is that the fact that we are of all the millions of videos out there, all the hours of footage, the fact that there's like 10 that are the ones that make their rounds.
You're talking about the police shootings?
The police shootings, especially. I just don't understand why is it. And then we know that there are other police shootings.
Camera phones didn't even come around till so recent.
No, but again, I'm saying I'm not talking about from the beginning of time. I'm saying why with all the police shootings that we know are caught on camera yearly, why the ones that we're being shown, why are they the ones that we're fixated on? Why those particular ones? I mean,
there's many corners of the internet you can go and Reddit where you can just watch police shooting videos, and it's white, black, women, men. It's all over the place. You got to
be a certain type of person to go and find those. I get that. But I'm talking about the videos that make it into popular conscious. Why do those videos make it there?
Because they happened recently.
That's not it. Because those other videos happened too.
It's because they happened recently. That's how the internet works.
Bro,
it's just like a news cycle.
I can find you a police shooting that happened this morning if I go on those same Reddit sites. So why? But again, it's very particular videos that make. Okay, but it's not gonna supplant this recent video. But why?
It's will. Recent. That's how Reddit works, at least.
Look, okay, what I'm trying to get at is this: that the only reason you see the videos you see is because, why is it that every single video you see supports the same narrative? That doesn't come into you as weird?
It doesn't. What narrative?
That police are killing black people in droves and America's racist and this little white boy can kill 2 black people and get away with it? They all fit the exact same narrative. Every single one. That doesn't strike you as weird?
No, that's my opinion on them. It's not a narrative. That's people have opinions on things. I think you're looking at it way too conspiratorial.
No, I'm just saying, every video I see is of a black man being killed by a white guy and no context. And then immediately there's a story already told about how I'm supposed to view this. Why is it always, why, Andrew, let me ask you this. Of all the white people we know that get killed in America by cops, why don't we see any of those videos, bro?
I don't know what sources you use, but I see those videos. And you said you don't watch the videos.
Then why don't they make it to the popular stratosphere? Why don't they come into popular consciousness then?
You are contradicting yourself. If you don't use the popular stratosphere, if you aren't on social media, if you don't read the news, then how do you know these things make it into into those mediums?
Because how did I still find out about the most recent video, even though I'm not on those social media websites?
You watched
because
TV.
It permeated general society, general culture. It still found its way to make it to the point that someone who isn't on any of these platforms could still read and hear about it.
And that bothers you.
I don't have to go and search for anything. It still permeated my bubble. No, it doesn't bother me. I'm just saying, why those videos? Why those? When we know that there are white people who get killed by police and Asian people and Spanish people, why don't those permeate my bubble? Why is it only one type of video, one type of narrative is able to permeate that bubble?
I don't see it that way, so I don't know.
Huh. Well, I guess maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I see things differently. Maybe the fact that, I don't know. It just strikes me as odd, man, that I feel like every black person I talk about is like worried about being killed by cops. And I'm like, bruh, that should be the least of your worries in this world, man. And I think it's unfair to the people we claim to care about the most. And I care about these people. I care about everyone. And I know sometimes the way I talk makes it comes off as like I don't, but like it's because I care that I'm unwilling to compromise and to be sucked into this bullshit that I'm being sold, that black people are inferior, that their history of slavery is why black people can't ever get anywhere, that black people are just being killed in droves. It's fucking trash. It's fucking bullshit because it keeps people in the same exact spot where they are, and I'm getting too, I need to calm down. But it really makes me mad because I've seen people get sucked into this narrative, and it is the difference between why they become somebody and why they don't. When if they had never even known about the legacy of slavery, if they had never known about Jim Crow, they would have gone on and accomplished great things. But because they were told that they should think they're inferior, they believed it. And that is just, it's tragic to me, man. So I just want to fight that. I want to fight that. I don't want people out here thinking that because of the color of their skin, that somehow the cards are stacked against them. Man, life is trying to kill you all the time. Do you know how much poison ivy and poison oak I have in my fucking backyard? If I trip and I fall the wrong way, I can get so much poison ivy and poison oak, I can come to the point of like damn near death. And it's just chilling in my backyard. I got to worry about, like, life is literally trying to murder you all the time. There are solar flares that can happen that could wipe us off the face of this earth before we even realize what happened. Like, life is hard. And I don't want people to think that what's holding them back is a simple characteristic like the color of their skin. It's trash. So, all right, I'm done. That was it. That's what I wanted to say. It just gets under my skin, man.
Sounds like it.
And I'm the only one with my opinion, man. I'm the only one. Why? Why am I the only one with my opinion? That's what? Why? Why do every time I go and I talk to people, they're like, man, I've never heard anyone that thinks like you. That shouldn't be the case, man.
Sounds like a job for social media to fix. Where a bunch of like-minded individuals that don't know each other could have a conversation and figure some shit out.
But I just don't want to talk to like-minded people, though.
What?
I don't want to just talk to like-minded people.
Well, it sounds like you're only talking to non-like-minded people, so that's probably not good either.
Well, I mean,
not all the time. You got to have somebody to reinforce your beliefs at any given time, I guess. And
no, I'm okay being a pariah.
Okay.
I'm all right.
All right, fine. It's fine. You can't have it both ways.
It's a pocket I feel comfortable in. I know that there's one conclusion I came to a long time ago. And it was like a hard one to come to terms with because, you know, you're taught to think otherwise. But I realized that the moment I start thinking for myself, a lot of people are going to dislike me and disagree with me. And that was a hard kind of pill to swallow because you think, oh, if you think for yourself, you will be admired. Yeah, you will, but probably after you're dead.
Yeah,
because
that's not necessarily how people notice it. You can be ahead of your time, for sure.
Yeah.
Ahead of your time?
And then,
yeah, ahead of your time.
You can be ahead of your time.
That's what I mean.
And it doesn't feel good in the moment. You think if you think differently, if you pave your own path, if you formulate a road for yourself, that man, life will be great. People will love you.
Yeah, but why does it bother you so
road.
much that other people have a different opinion on this specific topic?
Because the facts seem so glaringly obvious.
To you, they seem super obvious. And you're like, why the fuck are you not seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, I see how that could be very frustrating.
Yeah.
I go through that quite often, almost every day of my life with different people I talk to. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's just weird because like I talk to my black friends and I'm like, okay, like, and I just lay out. We talked about the statistics of police shooting and blah blah, and I lay it out. Okay. I'm like, why?
I have a question though when you're done. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sure. And I just say, okay, given this, like, can you at least? I'm not saying just like throw away your argument out the window. But can you see why I feel the way I feel? But then for them to like dismiss it, that becomes frustrating because I'm not just pulling this shit out of my ass. Like a Yale professor.
No, you seem very frustrated, so I know you're not pulling it out of your ass.
Yeah, no, it blows me. And like, a Harvard professor, Yale professor. Damn, I wish I remember his name. A black dude who wanted to find racism in police shootings. Mm-hmm. He went out of his way, like, I know what I'm going to find. I already have my opinion. And he still released a paper saying, guys, I went in looking for it and assumed I was going to find it. And there doesn't seem to be racism when it comes to police shootings. Okay. And he
I do agree. So there's so many statistics we've gone through in the past in terms of, yes, not more black people are not shot than more other race. But there's ones like more black people who are unarmed are shot more than any other race. There's also something about they're more violent as force is more often used.
Yeah. But there's certainly
what I wanted to ask is,
yes,
do you think that police in general, not saying with black people, but just in general, are undertrained and I don't know, underfunded? I don't know, maybe not underfunded, but just undertrained. They're police reform, I guess. Do you think that should be a thing?
1,010%. And that's where I want the conversation to be.
Yeah, no, it's so weird. Even when you get pulled over, like obviously me and you probably getting pulled over, depending on the cop, it's going to be a different situation. But just being pulled over for speeding when I was younger, cops are just on. You can just feel the power trip they're on. Yes, you can feel it anywhere outside of a bar, like just anywhere you encounter them. And it's like, it's weird because I have friends that are cops now, but they're mostly like guys from high school that I, lost touch with in college, and I haven't spoken to them in years or whatever. But it's like, I wonder if they have that now. I wonder if they have that complex. It seems almost like a Napoleon complex, like a short guy complex. It seems like they're right there with each other. And if you got a short cop,
oh boy, good luck. Good fucking luck.
Can't arrest nobody. Can't chase nobody. Damn, he's gonna shoot somebody quick.
Yeah, dude.
White, black, man. Female, male, doesn't matter. You're going down with the short cop.
No, so yeah, man. Like, let me make that abundantly clear. I think police are massively undertrained, massively. I believe that and then I believe the people who are filtered to become cops and the people who are chosen to be cops are, for whatever reason, the people who turn in that direction are the people who we don't want to be there. And I always use a perfect example.
Like the president.
I ask all of my friends this. Yeah, I ask all my friends this. Bruh, why aren't you a cop? Why? Because it looks like that job fucking sucks. Okay, so if you wouldn't take that job because you can then think about who is taking that job.
Yeah.
Let's think about that.
Yep.
It's the person you don't want to be a cop. You know who I want to be a cop, Andrew? I want you to be a cop.
You know what's
but
weird?
what are the circumstances under which Andrew would become a cop?
And I don't know. I don't know. It would have to be some like, I don't know, someone in my family's murdered and no one can find the killer, and the only way is I have to go through 4 years of academy just to become.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a plot of one of the diehards.
It might be, but like I don't know. Because I'm sure there's cops that become it for the right reason. You know, they really want to help people. Like that is their thing. But there's so many people that take it because the qualifications to become one are not that high. Like,
Nothing.
If you're overweight, you can still become a cop, but you have to do many physical things, and I don't understand that at all. You like? I know you sent me it, but I don't know if you still like it because who knows how with their news now. The Guardian. I just happened to see an article by them today.
Yeah, I read them. Anytime I want to get my dose of wokeness.
It was an FBI agent wrote a former FBI agent who wrote the article, and I guess he had been undercover with some really far white would work too. White right wing groups, and just how many law enforcement officers are either sympathizers or just outright members of some of these organizations that people don't know, and the fact that it's in, I mean, a lot of the time it's in poor white areas, rural areas, you know, farmland and shit like that. It's just, it's I don't know, and I don't know. And then you never see those cops like in the movies. There's never like, are there super cops? Are there like ones that are like saving cats from trees? That's firefighters.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I had a lot of fire examples lined up, but that's all firefighters.
Yeah, and you know, and again, the same communities that are talking about how much cops are mistreating them. Well, we need more cops that look like the people from those communities. But if you keep disparaging cops and saying how bad they are, how are you encouraging people from your own community to become cops so that they can relate to the community that they grew up in and create some type of connection between law enforcement and cops? We don't need less black people being cops. We need more black cops. We need more Hispanic cops. We need more good white cops. I mean, all of that is totally necessary. And that's where my frustration comes, because I see this grander narrative that could be had about how if we talk about how simply we need better police, not white, black, and in between ain't going to disagree. Even cops won't disagree.
Yeah, that's why the whole
that's where the conversation needs to be.
Defunding the police is like
such a bad idea.
Not the answer. They don't have a lot of money. I feel like they're paid kind of like teachers are. Yeah, like firefighters, they're not paid very well either. Like obviously all. Why in America we do this? Why we do this? I don't understand. And that's why I think I've told you, like, the comments from other places in the world on Reddit about America, like some of this, there was literally a whole thing about like, what are you tired of hearing about like it that involves America? And you don't live there. And it was all people in like Canada, England. I mean, there were people in Australia. They're like, our fucking news all goddamn day is about Donald Trump. And he is the furthest away of any other president there is. It's just like, oh God, why?
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, I can imagine how our shit gets pretty frustrating for other countries. But again, we're a very polarizing country because we have freedom. So the more freedom you get, the more differing opinions that are allowed to flourish, the more disagreement. But
like the reality show of the world too. Like there's so many eyes.
Yeah, the more different opinions you get, but then those disagreements actually lead to nuanced, I think, more complex solutions than if you just have one or two opinions to go off of, and those things, what those people say is law. But yeah, man, I really want to have a better discussion about the things that we can make better in America. There are so many things we can and need to make better in this country, but when you turn it into black white, it just I think it's a cause for division. It draws people into their corners, and it pushes people further apart rather than bringing us together and saying we're all united under this one flag and we all want it to be better for all of us. And how best do we make that happen? And let's also keep in mind, fuck politicians. Let's always say that. Too. Fuck politicians. They don't give a fuck about regular people until it directly affects them. They have nothing to do with us. They do not have our best interest. Fuck each and every politician, Republican or Democrat. They are all trash.
So, question for
all
you:
of them.
Are you voting this year?
Yes.
For who? Oh, you're not allowed to say.
Honestly,
I'm still on the fence on if I'm going to or not.
All right, let me say this. Let me say this, bro. This is where I am. I have a president on one hand, a current president, who is causing a division in our country that seems insurmountable. That it's hard for people to agree on anything as long as he's president.
Okay.
He says and does things that are so idiotic that you have to say it makes you question. He makes you question reality. He's just too polarizing. He's not what you would call presidential. Too polarizing. On the other hand, we have a man who's on his deathbed. He walks into rooms, does not know where he is.
Okay.
No. They're videos. He called his wife Joe. He straight up called her Joe. Forgot his wife's name. He's on the verge of collapse. He picked a running mate based primarily on what was between her legs and what the color of her skin was. Can't deal with that. A prosecutor who also fought tooth and nail.
That's politics.
A prosecutor who fought tooth and nail to keep people who were wrongfully convicted with loads of proof and evidence, fought tooth and nail to keep those innocent men in jail. And he is reigning. I feel like what is coming with Joe Biden is Marxism. And you want to know one sure way to destroy liberalism and democracy? Allow Marxism to entrench itself in your government. So those are the two things that I'm staring down the barrel of.
Two things. Trump is only 3 years younger than Joe Biden.
Yeah, but he's not.
He tans and he takes Adderall, so he looks younger.
I'm not saying he's not old. He doesn't, but he's not literally forgetting where he.
Why do you think I'm on the fence on if I'm voting or not? It doesn't seem any better than in 2016 when you're voting for someone who's probably killed so many people in Hillary, and then. This man, it's just like, God damn it! Can The Rock run or somebody cool that we haven't found anything bad about yet?
Let me tell you this: the fact that Kanye West is on the ballot, do not be surprised if a ton of people end up voting for Kanye.
Well, yeah, he came out and said it was to take votes away from Joe Biden. That was the whole reason he did it. He publicly said it. He also apparently is doing something illegal with his campaign, which is not surprising considering I doubt he's ever done this before. And I guess you're not allowed to keep your donors secret, and he's saying he's not going to give the names.
Fucking Kanye.
So man, I'm just here for the ride, really. That's all I'm here for. America. This is the new America, man. You got to top it each week. So next week, I think maybe by Christmas, the Yellowstone volcano is going to explode. And then that will be like, oh man, we really got to come together because lava is not racist. It will kill you. Yeah,
no, that's a fair point. I don't want to be. If it comes down,
this
to
is when aliens. This is like the number one time for an asteroid, aliens, like a big ass natural disaster that affects the entire Earth.
Any of those things,
I know, but that's people come together when shit like that happens.
You don't think we could come together by talking it out? I'm a believer in our democracy, man. I'm a believer, bro. I think we can.
I do, but I agree. But does the society now, and then whatever the next generation behind the current young generation is, do they have the patience for that? For how long that takes? Because we're 400 years old. And it's taken a long time to institute a lot of changes.
It has.
It really has. So, and that most of them have been done in the last 100 years. So you would think we're speeding up a little bit, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe AI, Terminator type things. That would be another thing that could bring us all together. Got to fight the robots, zombies. Just thinking of all fun stuff that could end 2020 with a bang. Maybe a mass coronal ejection, as you were mentioning earlier. Just rain down lightning on the earth and see who survives. Only the strong survive.
Yeah, sir. I will have to say, that I am still an adamant believer in our democracy, and I think we can find a way to get through this without having to encounter aliens. I have just a tad bit more hope than you do, but I think we can do it, man. I think we can do it. It takes compromise, man, and it takes continuing to have these tough conversations where we don't necessarily see eye to eye, but see that I'm still a regular human being who wants my family to do well, who wants prosperity, who wants my kids to do well, and you are the same way as well. And it doesn't matter if we think differently. That's the beauty of what makes us us, is that me and you can literally think the exact opposite on a subject and live right next to each other, have our kids play with each other, have them go to the same school, come to the barbecue every Sunday, and get along perfectly fine and well, while simultaneously saying, yeah, I think you're a little bit of an idiot. Yeah, I think you're a little bit of an idiot too. Yeah, all right, cool. But where can we find common ground where I go, that's not that bad of an idea, and you go, that's not that bad of an idea either, and then we vote on it and we move forward. That's what makes America great, and I think we can still do that, man.
Got to get rid of the internet. There's too many fucking opinions right now.
I have been
when people used to keep their opinions to themselves, it was not necessarily keep it to yourself, but like you couldn't just have 100,000 people randomly see it just because it blew up, like you went viral. It's like, oh man, going viral used to be a bad thing. It should, I mean, it kind of is still, but at the same time, you can go viral and be famous. So that's what everyone's trying to do. There's just too much. There's too many opinions, too much information. And no, you know what? We talked about this a long time ago on, like, it was a difference between like old people and us, something like that. But like, what do you believe? You know, like what form of news you take in and what you believe. I feel like older people are just gonna believe anything they're told, as long as it's by the right person. As long as the right person tells you, you're good.
Yeah, but
because they're not used to this internet thing, they don't know any information comes in through Facebook. They're like, "Oh shit, I better pay attention."
Yeah, but then on the same token, young people believe too many different things, and they're trying to change the world. They're trying to change the world all at the same time, all by tomorrow. So there's a push and pull. And yes, older people have had more experience. So yeah, they tend to be a little bit more solidified in their views and their opinions, and who do they decide to listen to. But that's not out of like some sheer fuck everything else. It's based on experience,
Yes, it is. It's definitely based on
experience. And that's the downside with young people, is just young people haven't lived long enough to understand the difficulty of life.
As I think we said, we need to have like a happy medium leading that country, not guys in their 70s or fucking 25-year-old. We need.
I agree.
The Rock. The Rock's like 50, right? That's perfect.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I completely agree that somebody in their 50s would be ideal. I couldn't agree more.
I was very curious because you only hear about like a couple different types of government, like democracy. What else? What else we have? Communism, capitalism. I mean, capitalism is a type of government, I guess. I don't know. But did you know anarchy is technically a type of government?
No.
It's the lack of government, but that is the type of government that it is at the same time. I had no idea that it's like anarchy.
There's a government form called anarchy.
Anarchism.
And can you read the definition?
Refers to the absence of government, a condition in which a nation or state operates without a central government governing body. Because it's not like everyone just dies or everyone leaves, or like it continues to operate as a state or a country or whatever. But there literally is no government at all. I guess the real world example is it happened in Somalia in 91 after a civil war. Mm-hmm. And like different tribes broke off. There were different regions based on what warlord was there and stuff. So that's I don't know. There's a bunch of words on here I don't know, but the first one was anarchism, and I was like, oh, what? That sounds fucking sweet. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And I read it, I was like, that does not sound sweet at all.
No, anarchism sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah, there's some cool ones on here though. I might have to get into these later. Oh, yeah, theocracy? Man. Nah, don't give me that. I didn't know what that was.
That's a religious-based government.
Yeah, I didn't even...
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
Democracy does always look like the best one, I guess. But it's weird because our form of democracy is so based on capitalism. It's almost like its own form. Like we've almost made our own form of government, like that we should have a catchcatchrease for.
Yeah, it's also steeped in a lot of religion too. And I know you're very anti-religion, but man, I read that.
I love the separation of church and state on our money and different official documents. Yet none of that happens at all within our country.
No, it certainly doesn't. But I know you read that book *Sapiens*, and it talked about how us being able to cooperate on the level that we are able to get the things done that we need to.
Oh yeah.
That a huge chunk of that is we owe that to religion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I don't think it is a coincidence that the more secular not only our country but the world is becoming, the more fraught with disaster and miscommunication and just the loss of any feeling of hope. More people are becoming nihilistic. I don't think it's a coincidence that and secularism are in lockstep.
I don't agree. I don't have any argument here. I don't have any facts, but I'd like to talk about that one on the next one for sure. Because I don't agree. I can't look that up quickly enough, but I feel like there's definitely some atheist type countries that they're faring a little better in probably certain areas and not in others. But it kind of all depends on the country too. Like as we said before, the United States is wild. We got so many fucking states, so many. It's so crazy. Yeah. Most places like this are a continent with different countries inside of it. We are the only one that's not that. We're not the only one. There's other places that have like nation states, but it's just it's new, it's weird, But yeah, I'd really like to talk about that on the next one if I can do some research on that. But religious societies versus non-religious, like examples of each, who fares better. I don't know. That'd be a good one.
Excuse me. I would love to do some, because I've heard some really good podcasts on that recently, and have read some pretty good articles. So yeah, no, I'd be 100% down to dive deeper into that topic if you'd like to.
It is now August 28th. Have you made the switch to Spotify?
I have not made the switch yet. When does it officially happen?
I think it's September 1st, but
fuck.
Dude, he's been doing more during the quarantine than he ever did. I cannot. Yeah, it's so hard.
It's too many. Again, like we spoke about last time, I just go, if you're a comedian I really like, a scientist, a doctor, a journalist. I pick those out.
I'm listening
and
to
the other ones. I get to them when I get to them.
I think he's a doctor, but that doesn't make sense in my head. But he wrote a book about preppers, so listening to that one.
I've listened to that one.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, just all the time you spent with him. But I tried to listen to the Post Malone one. God damn, it's hard.
Oh, it's a hard one.
I got an hour in. I was like, all right, I think I got the rest of it. Yeah,
I get it.
I understand what happened for the rest of this.
I read a YouTube comment. And it said every podcast before that one was pre-Malone, and everything after that is post-Malone.
That is such a fucking corny ass dad joke, but it's so good. That might
be the best
That's so good.
joke I've seen on the internet ever.
Oh man, there's a whole Rogan subreddit, and they always people draw him a lot. They're kind of funny, but they envision him as a monkey, like an ape. And
I think he envisions himself as a monkey.
Yeah, but him and Post Malone on the same podcast, and Post Malone he looks like a rat to me more than anything.
Yeah,
but
he does.
He drew them both as monkeys, and it was just the funniest fucking thing, and to see that.
Pre and Post Malone.
Yeah,
that's so
a good
great.
one. That is a good one.
That's a pretty money one. But yeah, man, it's.
Ooh, what do you think's going to happen with football this year? You think we were talking about this in my draft last weekend? You think they're going to be able to play all the games without having to worry about like shit spreading around?
So
they have so many people on the sidelines during football. 52 players plus all the coaches and shit.
Right. So I've been watching Hard Knocks, and I was very
worried.
I thought it was very promising that we could have a successful football season.
Oh wait, now you're worried?
But now I'm worried because I saw on Hard Knocks they were allowing certain players like Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, the really good players, they could just go home. and then the rookies are the ones who had to stay in the bubble. And I was like, that's not how
I know
quarantine works.
Oh yeah, well that and yeah, you can't do that.
It's not how it works. You can't pick and choose.
Baseball's had a lot of people fucking get it and spread it around.
Basketball, zero.
Dude, yeah, I know the bubble is fucking working. I don't get it. It's so.
It works. I mean,
I guess yeah.
I
need and
it's
fuck.
very small.
I know. I heard right at the beginning, like people were getting in trouble for like leaving to get their food from the Uber Eats delivery. Like they were, and they're serious about it. I mean, it's weird. With baseball, you can't do that as much, I guess, because there's, I don't know. One, it's not the playoffs, so there's more teams, but also I mean, I don't know. They are doing one thing where I didn't even realize this till a month into the season, but they're only playing teams from their division and the corresponding division in the other league.
Oh, okay.
So like the Red Sox are only playing the AL East and the NL East, and that's it. And they just keep going around, and that's who they play for this year, and that's how it's going to work. But I know they said for the playoffs they might just do 2 stadiums, one in Texas, one in California, and just play all the games at those 2 stadiums to try to do a bubble type thing, I guess.
I mean, honestly, that's the only way that we know for sure works.
Yeah.
The bubble, the NBA bubble has been a success. Is literally underrating what it has been.
Yeah,
it has been fantastic. The games, the intensity, the fact that they've had over 1,000 tests.
It's pretty cool. The fans, the digital fans in the stands,
everything.
Yeah.
Talk about whoever set up the bubble from the NBA. They
did it. They won. They win for coronavirus sports. So they definitely win.
Sealing your job. Your job is permanent. You're never going anywhere. You're going to get paid $1 gazillion. Like, it was a fantastic idea. So
yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow when it comes back.
Yeah, there's proof that it can be done and done well.
Yeah. Hopefully football comes back because I'm excited for this year.
Yeah, me too. As long as they're going to definitely have to I know with 53 people on a team and then all the coaching staff and whatever, it's very difficult. But if they want to have a successful season the way the NBA did, and again, it's a season and not just the playoffs, I understand it's much more difficult, but it seems like the best way to do it is to figure out how to do a bubble for the NFL. And I don't know how you would do it with that many people, but it's proven in the NBA that if you do it to some degree that way, it'll work.
I got my draft tonight. Who is your one sleeper? Who's your one? You got any sleepers for me?
Hold on, let me think. Marquise Brown, Ravens wide receiver.
For some reason, I feel like he's on the Steelers.
I might be saying his name wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Marquise Brown.
Maybe it is. Okay.
Wide receiver for the Ravens.
All right, I'll look for him.
He ran like a 4.2, 4.3.
Is he a rookie this year?
Was a rookie last year, but he did not have that. He was only a home run hitter. He weighed something like 165 pounds. He's gained 20 pounds of muscle, and he's kept his speed.
Oh,
sleeper.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for him. Tonight.
Yeah. So if I like when any rookie that comes into their sophomore season and shows that much heart and dedication, they're always on my list as like that's a guy you need to look out for.
20 pounds of muscle sounds good.
Yeah, and it's not. It's like rookies don't. You don't see too many rookies putting in that type of work. This guy obviously wants to be very successful. He wants to be able to be an every down wide receiver, not just a first down going for a home run wide receiver. So I'm really thinking that guy's going to be good this year.
Well, I'm going to put this prediction out there. First time I'm ever saying it. Colts are going to the Super Bowl this year. There it is. It's out there. They're doing it.
With the sheriff?
Is that
Phillip Rivers?
That's his nickname, the sheriff.
That's the sheriff. Yeah.
Yeah. I hated him up until now, so I never knew his nickname. Many times when the Colts were in the playoffs early on in his career, he beat us, and it was very unfortunate. So now I love him. He's amazing. He is the best. He's the
best, worst quarterback I've ever seen.
We finally have weapons, and our defense is going to be good. So hey, you never know. It's a whole new team.
The Colts are gonna be ass.
Oh man, let's put 20 on it right now. Not that they make the Super Bowl because that's a hell of a bet for me to win, but more wins than losses.
It's a bet.
All right. Yep. Digital handshake.
You heard it here first. But if they break even, we're even.
Oh yeah, very true. That's a push.
I think y'all are gonna go. y'all gonna go 8-8.
Oh, I hope not. I'm rooting for.
think y'all
I'm
go
rooting for
8-8.
10-6. I'm rooting for 10-6, and hopefully the
Not in
season
your
completes.
wildest fucking dreams, sir.
We still got Jacoby Brissett just in case. So.
Yep. That is not the guy you want to put your hope on.
God can dream. God can dream.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't mad at you for it.
Trying to think about the positives in life right now and not all the wild shit in 2020.
Yeah.
Come on, football
Yeah.
and basketball, come back, please.
Yeah. Please, I need you, sports.
Yep. All right, man. It was good talking to you. Let's definitely do that nation state religion versus secular next time and see what happens.
That's a good one. Yeah, man. Let's do it. It's glad to be back. Glad to be talking to you again and airing out all the shit that's rattling around in my head. I hope people are still listening to this, and if you are, we appreciate you.
Yep.
And keep your head up in 2020.
Yep.